Hey guys, it's Michael, and today I'm going to be doing a review on, and I'm also going to be ranking like all the shows that have been rebooted or have a spin-off on Nick Jr. Starting off with the first one was, I believe it's going to be, the first one would be Blue Suit. That got rebooted back in they made a spin-off in the 26 called Blues Room. It was kind of weird. It was like a puppet thing, and they actually had the doll talk, which that was kind of weird. And I used to watch it when I was younger, but now, seeing older, I can see how it became, like people say creepy, I can see what they say, how I guess it's a little creepy now, watching it now, and I realize that. But I kind of liked it when I was younger, so moving on to the next part is going to be Blue Sleuth and You. That came out, I think, in 2019, it was like a reboot or something. And despite it being like not as bad, they kind of made it like redone and made it better than like what the classic was. But they brought some of the classic stuff back and like just revamped it a little, made it better. But I say that when you touch something that's just a classic and try to redo it, it doesn't get like that feeling. Like the classic just seems better than like a rebooted one. So I can see why some fans didn't like it and how our fans did. So I can see how it became good, but it's okay. Moving on to the next one. This one's going to be Dora. This one got rebooted or like a spin-off in 2015. Called Dora and Friends Into the City. It was okay. I watched it once or twice to see what it was when I was flipping through channels, and it was all on one time, so I had to watch it. It was okay. I didn't really like it. It was okay, but I don't consider it such a great show because she kind of was older and she looked very, very different, and it was okay. So I would say it's not as good. But now moving on to the next part of it is going to be the Reboot series that came out on Paramount in 2024. I would say that one's also pretty good. I would say it's like really it's okay, it's not as good. They also were featured in an episode of NFL Slime Time recently, where an episode with Dora and Boots and the cast of NFL Slime Time, one person in it. It's pretty cool how they did that on Nick for one time, and it was pretty cool. And yeah, moving on to the next thing we'll be reviewing is going to be the Fresh Meat Band. They made a cartoon version in 2015 where it was similar to like the reboot. It was like they weren't technically live action. It was kind of similar to your classic where like live action, and it was like basically a cartoon. But they basically kept their music the same they did. They're still like a band, but they also went undercover and were like spies as well. And they like catch people who would be like stealing things and stuff. And they were pretty cool. I remember watching it on Nickelodeon when it aired. It moved to Nick Jr. full time because at first they thought it'd be like they're like older. Why? But then they like brought it back to like being like younger. Why? Because the audience of how like they realized that this show was like for younger viewers, not for older viewers. So they moved it to Nick Jr. full time. But it was pretty good of a show. Now moving on to the fourth one. Everyone thinks that this one is not considered a spin-off or like a reboot series. But it kind of sort of is, because now Max and Ruby got 2 new seasons in 2017 or 2018, and season 6 and 7 finally moved on, and we finally got to see the finale episode of season 5 that was put in season 6 by mistake, and it's still there to stay. They have not updated it because one episode of season 6 shows Max really doesn't really talk much, and it's 3 episodes in one. But normally now season 6 and 7 has 2. So it was like a bonus content episode from the older season that came back years later. And we finally got to see it for the first time. And I remember watching the show, and it's pretty cool how now Mac finally gets to talk. He's now a little more grown up, and he now goes to school, and his friend Morris is still in the show, and he also talks. And it's pretty cool, and they also have parents now, so I consider it not bad. I think it's better than, and I think the classic and the reboot are better. And also Ruby is not as rude as she used to be in the classic, so it's a little better because it's kind of cool how it actually became better. Max is also still sneaky too, so that's pretty cool. I remember seeing it. They did pretty good. Moving on to the next one. This one is very like not really kind of considered like classic wise or like a reboot wise, but it's like a spin-off. Now they re-spinned off Paw Patrol into another spin-off called Rubble and Crew, where Rubble from Paw Patrol moves on to make his own show with a bunch of other dogs, and they build things for like cities and stuff, and that's pretty cool. And I've watched it many times. It's pretty good. I think Paw Patrol and Rubble Crew are the best out of this thing. Those are the 2 cool things when they reboot it. It's pretty good. And it would be really cool to make a movie for Rubble and Crew, like they've done with Paw Patrol, but I don't know if they'll do that. But who knows. Moving on to the next one. This one's gonna be Dino Dan. This came out in 2009. And then they made like a spin-off or reboot of it like years later with his brother Trek, who was in the show, and they called Dino Dan Trek's Adventures. It kind of sort of like a reboot or spin-off, whatever you want to call it. And I considered it like okay, it wasn't as good. But I think it was pretty cool when they featured Dan in one of the episodes when he came back. And that was pretty cool how he came back in one episode, and it was like really cool how they showed that like months like when it came back later. Pretty good. Moving on to the next one. This one is like one of the worst things they've ever rebooted. I don't know what they're doing, but how dare you reboot the Backyard Organs and make it horrible? It's one of the worst things you ever did. You made it so creepy that I don't even want to see it. And my cousin agrees. He's like, yeah, I agree, this is creepy. Chris, you're right, this is very creepy. I don't know why they rebooted. This is weird. You were very true, they did make it creepy, and I would never watch it. I can't believe they turned the most funniest show that we used to watch, that we used to like, and you watched it every day basically. It's the only thing that you always watched with that one show, and I can't believe they ruined our favorite show and turned it into something creepy. Like, what are they doing now? First they rebooted Backyard Organs, made it creepy. Now they rebooted Wonder Pets Into the City or something like that. What they call it and made it creepy. Like, what are they doing? Ruining two the most great Disney Junior shows and making them horrible. Like, don't ever do something like that again. If you ruin something else in the Junior, I will never, ever, ever watch TV again. Like, you can't be doing that. The first show that I'm going to be reviewing for this part is going to be Miffy. Miffy and Friends was the show that was on Noggin back in the very old days. Also a part of PBS, but then years later it came back and made a reboot and said, oh, let's call it Miffy Adventure Big and Small. One of the worst reboots they ever made. Not even good. The original was just such a classic. Then you go and make a remake of it, which became horrible. It's not even as good as the original. So, sorry, but I'm going to have to rank it a 2 out of 10. Not even good. Sorry, but the original is just a classic. You can never touch an original and make it into a reboot. It's just not going to work the same way as the original did. Moving on to the next one I'm going to be doing is Peppa Pig. This one used to be on Noggin back in the day, like shorts or something that merged the episodes. And there is like a real full episode that it wasn't fake. It's pretty real, the era Noggin, so I think it's real. Then it came back to the Junior years later, and I was like 9 or 10. I used to watch it a lot. And then they brought it back and made a reboot now where it's called Peppa Pig Big Adventures or something. In the city ever called, and it's something weird. I do not know why they had to remake another series of this. It's already enough to have one. Why need to have two? But the show and the classic one was better in the reboot. Because I've seen trailers and commercials for the reboot all the time pop up, and it looks pretty bad. But the original was pretty better, so I'm gonna rank this one probably a 4 out of 10. Could have been a little better, but it didn't really need a reboot. It was already fine with what it is. People are already annoyed about it anyway. So finally, the next thing they rebooted, Yo Gabba Gabba, is now on Apple TV, and now Lance's daughter now is part of the show, and now she's the one who took over. And I don't know why they like ruined that one as well. It's not actually that good either. It's like horrible. Like, you also create a classic. That's just such a great show that I watched when I was in 2nd grade. You guys made a classic that's so good, but you ruined it and turned it into something that's like, we can't even watch it. Like how could you purposely make a reboot like that and just make it like horrible? Like, it's not even good. Like, I don't even like it. Like, it's not even like something that people want to watch. So I'm gonna rank this video so far. The stuff I'm gonna rank this video that are really good would be Immaculate Reboots, the spin-off I call it really good. The next one I'm gonna rank is the Fresh Free Band reboot, pretty good. The Paw Patrol reboot is really good, and the Blues Clues reboot really good. All the other reboots that are in here were not good. Those were the only 4 reboots that I liked. Oh, and the Dino Dino reboot also pretty good too, but the rest weren't good. I didn't like them. So I'm gonna rank this video a solid maybe 6.5 out of 10. It could have been better. There could have been better reboots. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. And also shout out to my cousin Chris if you see this video. Make sure you like it and subscribe. And yeah, it's gonna be it for the video. So yeah, bye guys.